Welcome to Empath Inspiration, where you are honored for your ability to feel so much, so deeply. Each week, you will learn practical information, tools, and insights that empower empaths to live healthy, productive lives. Here's your host, author, intuitive, natural health and holistic nutrition consultant, and the developer of the Foundations Healing System, a revolutionary self-healing method designed specifically for empaths, Dr. Janice Carlin.
Welcome to Empath Inspiration. I'm Janice, and I'm excited about sharing some really empowering information with you today. Now, if you're just tuning in to this podcast and don't know me, I want to share with you that I am an ultra-sensitive empath. So what I talk about comes from the perspective of personal experience, plus a lot of education, plus the fact that I'm also an intuitive channel. People can talk about empaths all they want, but if they haven't ever truly experienced living as one, they really don't have the same perspective. So I do hope that when you listen to this show, you'll gain some new insights about many things. Now remember that empaths have the experience of feeling energy vibrations multidimensionally. Whether they originate from within themselves or outside of themselves, the experience is the same. If you have questions about how and why empaths feel so much, I'm going to direct you back to listen to the first few episodes where I talk about that, because I have a lot of new and powerful information to share here with you today. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the different types of empathic experiences. And please don't confuse this with the different degrees of being sensitive. I'm talking about the actual different ways that you can experience feeling energy vibrations that originate from outside of yourself, but seem to be coming from within. Most people think of empaths as very emotional because they believe that being empathic means you feel the emotions of others. Well, this is not a complete, in any way, meaning of being an empath. And it stems from the definition of being empathetic, which is the ability to share someone else's feelings. But being empathic is not the same thing. Feeling someone else's emotional energy is simply one part of it. Remember that empaths feel energy multidimensionally or on multiple levels. Emotions are only one level. If you've been listening to my show, you'll know that empaths also feel physical pain from others. But there are even more ways that empaths can experience energy that people don't really connect to the experience of being empathic. But they are connected. These happen on the non-physical energetic level aside from emotions. Now, energy communicates all of the time with you, and you're always interacting with it and reacting to these interactions. As an empath, you have the capability to experience these interactions and reactions with energy vibrations on multiple levels of yourself. Remember, you are also vibrations of energy, okay? So all the vibrations, you're interacting with other vibrations. And you can feel these interactions and reactions emotionally, you can feel them physically, and you can feel them energetically. Empaths just feel clearly, and that's what clairsentient means. Before I go any further, I want you to remember why you're here. Your soul is here. You've come to this planet to be of helpful service, and this planet is not in good shape at all. And you're here to help and to assist. And when you come into contact with any energetic vibrations that aren't existing in a pure form, in a highly vibrational state, you're going to feel some kind of adverse reaction from them. Now, the world cannot heal and advance toward peace and thriving as long as low vibrations continue to be created and used on it. And we can call these reactions that we have to low vibrations, energetic sensitivity. Energetic sensitivity is very real. There's non-physical energy that you can feel in various ways that has to do with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and radiation from electronics. And why do empaths feel badly from this type of energy? Because where this energy is sourced from isn't clean and pure. The energy isn't sustainable. It's dirty. The technologies that run off of this energy are emitting dirty energy through them. This energy doesn't feel good to empaths because it's not honoring of life in the highest good. Now remember, again, why you came here to assist. And what is needed on this planet now is people coming back to the realization that if we're doing something and creating something that's not in the highest good of honoring of all life, then we're going to continue creating suffering and hurt and harm and damage. Okay? So it's aligned with the purpose, all right? And that's why you feel it when it doesn't feel good. I'll keep talking about this, though. So the way that medical professionals blow off the concept of energetic sensitivity is by saying, well, I use my cell phone every day and I'm just fine. So cell phone radiation doesn't actually hurt anyone. That's ludicrous. Each and every person is different. If you're an empath, you're going to feel more than other people. And as you feel it, if you don't clear it away quickly, it's going to hurt you. Empaths are a group of beings that are quickly aware of any lower vibrations because they feel them. All right, remember this. So what does it feel like to experience energetic sensitivity? What can be different to anyone? And a doctor once asked me the question. To me, it feels ungrounding. It feels unsettling. Sometimes it feels nauseating. It feels like suddenly the energy that naturally flows through my body is somehow stuck. It just feels bad. It feels kind of like something is attacking me with a stifling energy. And if I don't remove myself from the experience, it'll drain me and I'll end up getting physically sick. So please remember that how you feel in any moment has to do with the energy you're interacting with and reacting to. And I have a name for this. I call it the sensitivity factor. It's that missing piece that explains why people experience energy the way they do, okay, and their health and their well-being. Sensitivity means the reaction you have to stimuli originating either within you or from outside of you. And some people are more sensitive than others. They're more reactive. But I think that the time has come, and not that I think, I'll tell you, the time has come to even approach that statement differently. Everyone reacts to energy. Some people, empaths and highly sensitive people, feel it right away. And personally, I have the approach that we're the lucky ones. And here's why. As an empath, you can feel when you've come into contact with something of low vibrations, either emotionally or physically. You feel it. Somehow you feel it. But for those who don't feel it, they may build up plaque in their arteries without even noticing, or develop malignant tumors that go unnoticed until they progress into severe cancer throughout their body. When you feel something that doesn't feel good, all you have to do is clear it away from yourself and get yourself back into balance. There are energetic tools to do that. Being an empath is a gift in this toxic world today. If you can't feel it, how can you even know how or even that it's affecting you and harming you at all, right? So it gives us the perspective of looking upon our empathic experiences really as the gift that they are. So remember, I share tools for clearing in my book, Empathic Sensitivity, and I also share it in the foundation system. So you'll have really everything you need to clear quickly. You just take a look at that. And if people would have the awareness of the sensitivity factor, as I call it, they will realize that everything they're experiencing is a reaction to energy. And that what this world needs in order to heal and to thrive again is exactly what each person needs to do for themselves in their personal life so that they can heal and thrive. So let's talk about some of those things. What can you do in your personal life that, again, remember, affects the world, okay, in beneficial ways, again, aligning you with your purpose? I've mentioned a lot about diet in previous episodes and the necessity of following a pure food way of eating. And doing this keeps toxins away from your body. But it does more than that. So we always want to look at the bigger picture here, okay? Because we, as empaths, we experience the bigger picture all the time. When you don't support the companies that make toxic foods, you are one less person who's adding to the extreme toxicity that fills the world today. In other words, you are aligning to your purpose, your soul, and your reason for being here. That feels good. Think about this. Okay, I'm going to just use one example. Meat from factory farms alone is a huge contributor to global warming. The methane produced from these animals are crammed together, is damaging to our atmosphere, and there's more. The food that these animals are fed is genetically modified, non-organic, and toxic in and of itself. The medications these animals are given are chemicals that fill our waterways and damage the bodies of those who consume the meat or dairy. If you stop giving money to the people who produce the products made from these inhumanely treated animals, you're helping our world. It's not just yourself. When there's less demand, less toxic medications and pesticides and herbicides and genetically modified corn and soy will be produced and used. Then there's less for everyone to adversely react to. The air is cleaner. The water is cleaner. Our bodies are more detoxified, and health and healing can exist for you and for the world. So let's get back to the sensitivity factor. A person who's an empath is going to be highly reactive to energy vibrations through feeling on any level. Okay? Pay attention to the terminology I'm using. Reactive to vibrations. You can't see vibrations with your physical eyes, but you can feel them. If you're an empath, you can feel them. On the energetic level, there is no difference whatsoever between an emotional reaction or a physical one. It's all reactions. So when you approach your health and well-being as an empath, it's important to step away from getting caught up in labels. Empaths feel stuff all of the time. And we have to free ourselves from limiting labels. Any label that says that you have a certain disease is limiting. You may show all of the symptoms of it, but that doesn't mean that you're now limited in being able to resolve any of that. And I don't mean to cover it up. I mean resolve it. Because it's possible. Emotionally, empaths can easily feel sad. Look at the state of our world today. There's plenty to be sad about in any moment. There's pain all over the place. And there's fear underlying all of it. But you don't have to have a condition called depression unless you choose to. And I don't want to sound you've heard that before, but I want to really explain this. Really, you make the choice. If you don't want to experience the depression, the anxiety, chronic pain, and fatigue any longer, then you're going to have to make changes in your life. Because if you keep doing what you were doing all along, you're going to keep experiencing the same thing. The first changes, and I also talked about this in a previous episode, have to do with your beliefs. You can either accept that you're feeling something because you're empathic and sensitive, or you can accept a label and live your life that way. When you take the first approach, you'll see that there are so many ways that you can be proactive in resolving the situation and moving past the experience. But once you take on that label, you've made the decision to own those vibrations, believing that they somehow came from within you and there's something wrong with you, and then you allow them to live inside of yourself and influence your life. People are sad, angry, afraid, and suffering in this world. There are people, experiencing that. But you don't have to experience this inside of yourself to the point where you can't function to your highest capacity. The world needs you to shine your light, not to get swallowed up in the darkness that's existing here. You don't have to suffer because someone else is suffering. You can feel it, but you don't have to own it and let it affect you and hurt you. All right, I want to clearly lay out some of the various ways that low vibrations exist so that you'll have awareness and can work diligently to keep them away from yourself. And remember that just because something seems to be physical, it's made up of vibrations that have come together to form that physical thing. So we're always dealing with vibrations at the root of everything. And therefore, your reaction to them can be on any level, including having, unwanted or negative thoughts in your mind even, right? Low vibrations are based in fear. All right, everybody says that. Well, I want to make it clear so you can practically apply it to your life. Fear is connected to vibrations of lack, oppression, and hatred, all of which are connected to vibrations of separation. Now, for those people who believe that separation is real and is the way things are supposed to be, they can create different things by putting together fear-based vibrations. All right, now, I'm reminding you, separation is not real. It just appears to be that way in the physical when we see the outlines of everything that look like they're not touching. Okay, but that's just the third dimension. Okay, see that we have to move past that limiting belief that what we see is what is real. So I'm going to give you an example how this works. So think of candy. Now, in certain parts of this world, there are regulations that prevent companies from using synthetic colors and flavors in their candies. In other parts of the world, namely the United States, there are no such regulations. Now, the people who are in charge of making these products believe in separation. Like if they're people who make candy, okay, believe in separation. They are not going to care what ingredients go into their products because it doesn't matter if it's harmful to anyone or the environment because they're separate from that. They're earning their livings and that's what matters. So if one country says you can't use those ingredients, they change the recipe so they can still sell their products there, but they don't change it everywhere. I mean, why should they? They don't believe it's hurting them to keep things the same. But it is hurting other people. And because we're all connected, it's really hurting everyone in some way. These companies are literally poisoning our bodies and our environment with their chemical ingredients. The belief in separation drives the wars, hatred, and purposeful poisoning of our world. And separation is fueled by fear-based low vibrations. These are the vibrations that convey to us that if we don't sell enough products, we'll be failures and we won't be able to support our families. So we make more and more toxic products to sell to other people. Fear is at the root of this. And I'm telling you, if love were driving the boat, no one would ever even imagine the thought of creating something that could harm someone or anything else. Because love is a higher vibration. So if that was underneath and the driving force of all the things that we do and create, we would be existing in a higher vibrational state. The vibration of this world would be raised. You see? So what else exists in our world that you can recognize as low vibrational? All right, violence. Obviously, if you believe in separation, then you believe that hurting someone else has no effect on you. The problem is that this isn't true. Untruths are low vibrational, especially when many people believe in them. And also chemicals. I'm always talking about chemicals. Chemicals are created for people's gain, not to serve in the highest good, no matter how anyone spins it, okay, to you. Chemicals are toxic to the human body, to animals' bodies, and to the planet. They serve a purpose to cause harm. They make things taste and look better. They may make farmers' lives more convenient. They may make it so that people don't have to feel anything they don't want to feel. And they may make it so that the belief and fear of getting sick and dying takes over so strongly that people willingly inject them into their bodies and their children's bodies without even knowing exactly what they're putting in there and how they'll affect them. Fear-based. Chemicals are killing life on this planet as much as physical violence such as war is. All right, I'm telling you this to remind you, these are the vibrations that are all around us here on this planet that empaths can feel on multiple levels in different ways. Think about the dirty energy that drives television and entertainment. And I'm not just talking about the etheric energy that's, floating around. I'm talking about the money that's behind the whole thing. The advertisements for chemical-based products, for medications to cover every unwanted symptom, the candy and the pure junk food, and all of it's masked by smiling people who seem to be so happy because they use these products. This is the energy driving these shows. So if you don't clear yourself during and after you watch television or movies, you're going to be adversely affected in some way. And this is because, as an empath, you can feel the connection to all of those low vibrations on some level. Likewise, if you don't clear yourself after using electronics, you're going to feel the connection to the low vibrations that power them, and you're going to be affected. If you eat foods that aren't pure, you're going to feel the effects of it. You're an empath. You can't expect to feel good if you purposefully bring toxic energies to yourself. It's easier to clear the electric energy and the etheric energy. When I'm saying clear after you watch TV, to just do an energy clean, it's easier to do that than it is to clear physical energy, like food, toxins, chemicals. So that's why you have to maintain a foundation of eating pure food no matter what. Then when you watch TV or use your cell phone or computer, you can more easily, simply and quickly clear yourself of the energy connected to that, because your body and your energy systems aren't being attacked by low vibrations through your diet. And think about your personal hygiene habits, like cosmetics or shampoo that's made of chemicals. The more low vibrations you keep away from yourself, the more easily and quickly you can detoxify yourself from the non-physical energies that come your way. Okay, if you're an empath and you aren't following a pure food diet and you're eating inflammatory toxic foods like wheat, sugar, processed foods, genetically modified foods, and synthetic chemicals, of course you're going to experience some kind of adverse health situation on some level, and many times for empaths it's on multiple levels. Okay, you can clear and clear and clear yourself energetically and still feel badly because of your diet. Likewise, you can follow the best, most ideal diet in the world, but if you aren't keeping yourself energetically clear, you're going to feel badly. And this is because empaths experience energy vibrations multidimensionally. You aren't crazy because you feel, but you do have to realize that if you don't keep those low vibrations away from you, you aren't going to feel good. And that the longer they build up within your body and your energy systems, the more ungrounded and sick you're going to be. If you don't keep them away, you're choosing to end up with a label that describes some kind of disease. It's just the way that energy works. And when you know that, you can be empowered to make changes in your life for the better, which, as I explained to you today, impacts the whole, which is wonderful. Now, I know that I've talked about some big things today, but these are the issues that I am guided to share. I ask intuitively about the topic for each show before I start working on it. And then I ask for the information that's aligned with truth from the light to come through. So I really hope that you'll take what resonates for you and use it in your life so that you can find ways to live to your very highest potential and do what you came here to do, to be light that shines on earth in the unique way that you are designed to do. Now, I'll be back with more empowering information next time. And you can look for Empathic Sensitivity, my book, wherever books are sold, and on my website. You can come and visit anytime, which is empoweredthriving.com. Thank you so much for being here and for listening.
Thank you for listening today. Please join us next week as Janice answers listener questions and provides more inspiration and practical applications for you to live a healthy, productive life as an empath.